Let's talk about some different types of roots we use in math. The first one is the most common. You've probably heard of it. It is the square root, which the square root is, if you're looking for the square root of x, you're looking for what number times itself equals x. Then we're just going to find some square roots. So the square root of 25 is 5, and this is because 5 times 5 is 25. Square root of negative root 1.21 is negative 1.1. So I just kind of know that because the square root of 121 is 11, so the square root of 1.21 must be 1.1. Okay, for the square root of 7, I need to use my calculator, so I'm just going to put it in the calculator, and I get the square root of 7 is 2.646. So what's important to remember about square roots is that you can't take the square root of a negative number because a negative number times the negative number is always positive. So there's no way you can times a number by itself and get a negative number. All right, on to the cube root of x. Cube root of x, some people call it the third root of x, and it's basically what number times itself 3 times equals x. So the first example is a cube root of 27. Well, the cube root of 27 is 3, and this is because 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. Cube root of negative 15, well, I don't know what that is, so I got to go to the calculator. First thing to notice is the symbol on the calculator is this little root sign with an n up above. So putting it into the calculator, I'm going to put in the index where that n was, is 3, and then the negative 15 is what we're taking the cube root of, and we get negative 2.466. It's important to note that you can take a cube root of a negative number. So you can't take a square root of a negative number, but you can take a cube root of a negative number. So now we're going to find the third root of 5.21, and again, go to the calculator, and I get this cube root of 5.21 is 1.734. And on to the fourth root of x. Fourth root of x is what number times itself 4 times equals x. You kind of probably get the idea by now. All right, and on to the first example. The fourth root of 256 is 4, and that's because 4 times 4 is 16, times 4 is 64, times 4 is 256. So it's 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 is 256. Then negative fourth root of 64, well, I don't know what that is. So I got to go and put in fourth root, 64, and I get negative 2.828. It's really important to notice that that negative is outside the fourth root sign. If you put the negative underneath, anytime it's an even root, see it's how it said undefined? What that means is it's not possible. Anytime it's an even root, so square root, fourth root, sixth root, eighth root, 10th root, etc., because you can keep on going forever. Anytime it's an even root, you can't take the even root of a negative number. The negative has to be on the outside. If the negative's underneath the sign, the answer, usually I just say does not exist, or you can say undefined, or you can say not defined, but you can't take an even root of a negative number. Okay, so this, again, just writing it down, is negative 2.82. And then fourth root of 6, I have no idea what number times itself 4 times equals 6. So the calculator says it's 1.565. And we're on to the nth root of x, which you can probably predict is what number times itself n times equals x. So this is just saying you can keep going forever. It can be 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. And it's what number times itself 9 times if you said 9th. Okay, and we're going to find the 7th root of 61. Well, I have no idea what that is. So we're going to go to the calculator, and we get the 7th root of 61 is 1.799. To find the 5th root of negative 32, because it's an odd root, we can have a negative underneath. So always remember, for an odd root, you can find the odd root of a negative number. So the 5th root of negative 32 is negative 2, because negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is negative 32.